Hello, mathletes. We are going to review median, mode, and range. So here we go. All right, so we know for median, mode, and range, our best practice is to get the data points in the data set in number order. So we're going to do that first, and we also want to remember that it is best practice to strike those numbers. That's our pro tip. Strike out those numbers as we use them so that we don't add a number into our final data set twice or miss a number. All right, so let's start looking for our low numbers. I see a 2 here. And the next lowest seems to be a 4. Then we have a 6. And then, I have 2 12s, so I want to be careful about that. 12 and 12 again. Then I have a 16, and I have an 18. All right, so now I have all of my numbers in number order. And just to be doubly sure, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, check and check. Now I'm going to find my mode, my range, and my median. So mode, range, and median. So we remember mode is the number that appears most often. So let's go ahead and look for our number that's appearing most often. Just once, just once, just once, twice here, once, once. And I want to remember that I can have one mode, I can have 2 modes, or I can have more than 2 modes, or I also can have no mode. So this time I have just one mode. I have just one number that repeats twice. So my mode for this set of data is 12. The second thing I'm going to pick out here is the range of data. And if we remember, the range is the difference between the highest number and the smallest number. And we know difference involves subtraction. So this is my lowest number, and because it's in order, I can see that easily. And this is my highest number. So I know that what I need to do here is to simply get the difference between them. So the difference between an 18 and a 2 is 16. So the range for this set of data is 16, meaning there are 16 places between the highest number and the lowest number. And then finally, I'm going to do median. And median, if you remember, is the middle number. So we're talking about finding the middle number. So I'm going to erase this since we have that, and then I'm going to work on median now. So the middle number. So we want to count in toward the middle and find that middle number. And we know that sometimes that middle number is part of our data set, one of our data points, and sometimes we have to figure it out. So let's see which way this one's going to go. So I'm going to count into this direction, and I'm going to count into this direction. I'm not quite to the middle yet. Oh, it looks like one more, and I have my middle number right here. I'm going to box that out. So my middle number for this set of data is the number 12. Okay. And a good way to think about this is if you have a data set that has an odd number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if the number is odd, then it's going to be right on your number line. Okay, if the number of data points is odd, it's going to be right on your line of data points. If the number is even, then we're going to have to do a different process, which we'll look at next. So here I have my mode, the most often, the range, the difference between the high and low, and my middle number. Let's look at one more problem here. All right, we have a new set of data. And again, we're going to be finding our mode, our range, and our median. So first, we're going to order our data. So let's look for some low numbers here. These are low numbers. So let's start with a 2. then a 4. Use that, use that. Looks like 6 is next. That. Then we go to 12. 1 12 there. There's another 12. Then we go to 16. Looks like this data set's a little different than the last one. 18, and I have one more 18. So I'm going to count to make sure I got everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now immediately I remember that if I have an even number of data points, I'm going to have to do something a little different to find my median. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that in a moment, but we're first going to get our mode and our range. Okay, so we have to look to see if we have any data that repeats. If nothing repeats, we have no mode. So let's look for any repeating data. I have a 12 that repeats here, and I have an 18 repeats here. Now, because they both repeat the same number of times, they are both the mode. They are both the mode. So we can have more than one mode. In this case, we have our modes are 12 and 18. 2 modes. We can have more than one mode. Then we're going to find our range. And we're going to look at our lowest number to our highest number. And again, that was like our last one. We have an 18. We're going to subtract that 2. And our range remains 16 for this set of data. Now, our median is going to work a little differently this time because we do have, get rid of that, we do have an even number of data. So we're going to count in like we did before and find the middle. So let's go 1, 2, we're going this way, 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2. So our middle is right here. There's no number in the middle. But what we do to find the median then, and this is an extra easy one, is we would take these 2 middle numbers and find the middle of those 2 numbers. And we do that by adding them together and dividing by 2. Now, you can see 12 and 12, the middle of 12 and 12 is 12. But we're going to go through this process. So 12 plus 12 is 24. Divide that by 2, and you're going to get 12. Okay, so if these were different, we would be adding together and dividing them by 2 and getting that middle number. But they're the same. So that made it a little easier for us. We didn't really have to do the math. And that's how that works. All right, so now we're at our check and correct page, which means that you should stop this video and do this problem on your own, and then start the video again and check it along with the work I'm doing. So go ahead and stop the video now. We'll see you in a few minutes with your work finished. Welcome back. Hopefully you've got all your work finished, and we're going to check it now. So the first thing we're going to do is remember that we're looking for that mode, the range, and of course the median, middle. All right, we're going to get our data in order. So these are a little bigger numbers, so we're going to see what our low number is. I see a 42. Looks like 42 is the lowest number. And if we make a mistake, we can start over, but at least as we're striking that data, we know we've used it. Okay, and then I'm going to scan. I've got another 42. Okay, so I know I'm going to have a mode because I have at least one mode here because that number repeated. So the answer is not going to be no mode. I have a 49. Let's see what's next. Do I have some 50s? Yep, 54. I have a 58. I have a 62, another 62, and I have a 67. All right, so now we can figure out these different calculations, and we're going to first look for modes. Anything that repeats, let's figure it out. Okay, I have a repeating number there. I have a repeating number there. So they both repeat twice. So that means they're both the mode. They both repeat the same number of times evenly. So the mode is 42 and 62. Those are the two modes. All right, range. Let's go ahead and find our range. This time we're going from a 42 to a 67. And we know that we have to find the difference between those two numbers. So I have 67 minus a 42. And you're welcome to use a calculator for this. But this is pretty simple. So we're just going to check our math, and our range, the difference between these two numbers is 25. Now we're going to look for our median. So we're going to count in toward the middle. So 1, 2, 3. This is a lot of data. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, looks like we're going to have to find the median because we have an even number of data, which means we've got to figure out what the median is. It is not on our number line. Okay, so we're going to box out that median, and we're going to figure it out. So we use these two numbers, which are the two middle numbers. We add them together, 58 plus 54, and we divide them by 2. Now, you can probably see very easily that what's in the middle of a 54 and 58, counting evens, we know that's going to be a 56. But this is the process. So we would add that 58 and add that 54 to it. And again, you can use a calculator. 12, 10, 11. So that's going to be 112 divided by 2. And of course, 112 divided by a 2 is going to be, we already know what it is because we can see it is 56. All right, so there's our median. So hopefully you got that work correct. If you did not, please make any changes and correct your work. And we're going to go on to the next page here. And the next page is on your own. So here's a set of data. You are going to find the median, mode, and range on your own and do that process one more time while it's fresh in your mind. Well, thank you for watching and advocating for yourself and helping to make your math mind as strong as it can be. And peace, love, and pie. Bye-bye.